Maybe you won't ever get to write a Batman comic. I will. You're going to have to write your own Batman.
So what about the people that's their life dream, man?
No,
you just crushed them.
I'm sorry. And what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the ForAllNerds show. It's your boy, DJ Ben-Amin, a.k.a. Slade Trilson, Dr. Hugo Stranger Things, Edward Nigma, please, Cash Ketchum, Soldier 70 Spliff. I can't. As always, I'm here in the spaceship, and I'm joined by
Tatiana King, the Grand Duchess of Tech, also known as Flex Luthor, Gucci Man, DeLorean, Lambo Calrissian, T'Challa Bread, Tatiana Kang the Conqueror, the Ting of the North, and Dark Chocolate Phoenix.
Yeah, what's up, folks? It's ForAllNerds show. It's darn near the end of the year because
damn, it's not a curse. You're right.
Okay, I'm good on that one.
I think.
Hopefully, Oh man, we're back. Hope everyone is doing great out there. For real, hope everyone is having a beautiful end to your year. I've been doing pretty good. I think 2026 will be really crazy for your boy and for ForAllNerds in general, though. So I'm really hyped for it. You know what I mean? 8, right? Yeah, that's the 8 number. No, 10. 2026, that's 10. So, so that's numerology.
What do you mean?
1. Yeah, so it's basically 1 in numerology. So it's a start of a new cycle.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, that feels really good. You know what I mean? Little numbers, little knowledge for the people them out there. How you doing, Tatiana?
Not bad. Getting, like you said, just gearing up for the new year. Planning a lot for especially the next few months, just when it comes to ForAllNerds, when it comes to myself, just making sure that I'm prepared for life.
Yes.
You understand? Yes. I know that's what everyone's trying to do right now, especially in the times that we're living in. So, I do things to try to take my mind off of the bullshit that's happening.
I mean, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, reading a lot, doing a lot of research.
Yeah, I have been too.
You have? What you been researching?
Well, I've been reading, and I finally hopped back up on my Duolingo, of course.
Oh, good. I've been doing it. I'm on my. Well, when I say been doing, I mean I started this year.
Yeah, but I know your streak's been going, so
I'm on 256. So wait, I need to add you as a friend so I can get some extra points, man.
Most definitely you do. Let's do it.
Okay, good.
Yep, I'm on there. Anyone else, hit me up, Duolingo. I'm getting my in Espanol back on, you know what I mean?
Very good.
And let's see, I was reading Z-Way's book, Black Friend. For everybody watching us on ForAllNerds right now, YouTube, you can peep the book in my hand. Z-Way, the legend. This is a book of her essays. And I've also been reading Toni Morrison, The Source of Self-Regard, a book of her essays. Okay. So I've got Toni and Z-Way right there, you know what
Very
I mean?
Good. I love it.
Back and forth. Yeah, balance.
Yeah. I'm on the opposite side of the spectrum. I'm reading things like scientific journals about health and stuff like that, like about ways to better myself from a health perspective, nutrition perspective, stuff like that. So
as you should be.
Yeah.
Yes, especially in these days and times that we are all living in.
Excellent.
Party time. Man, what else is going on? There's something else that I wanted to talk about. Oh, yeah, real quick. People were asking me, was I high during the last episode of ForAllNerds when we were reviewing Stranger Things? And I messed up a bunch of people's
names. That's a loaded question.
First of all, why you asking? Why you in my business? First of all, mind your business. Second of all, yes. Third of all, these white people and their names. It's like Eddie, Max, Will, Grace. No, nobody's named Grace. I know. I don't know. Henderson. I don't know.
I think
they're basic ass names. Even the black dude is named Lucas. It's like, come on, fam. You want me to, differentiate them?
I think at the end of the day, y'all knew who he was talking about.
They did, but they just wanted to sit there. I mean, that's the thing. They all knew who I was talking about, but then they're all like, why is he talking about Max's brother? Because Max's brother is Eddie, I think it is. See, I still don't know or really care.
And as I said, I couldn't help it. I wasn't going to catch you on anything because I don't watch the show. So,
Anyway, that being the point, y'all know what I was talking about, but thank you for all the comments either way. I love it either way. Bring the heat when I mess up,
Well, first
whatever.
of all, for those who never been here,
Yeah.
never been nowhere, this is the butcher of names. He has been this guy for 10
Yeah.
years.
I guess that's
So this
like,
happens. It's just what he does. And also, like, even I do it at times. Like,
mhm.
half the time I do it on purpose because I don't care and don't well actually me. But like, because especially when you know that I know that you
Yeah.
know that I know who I'm talking about. So
And it's like
I
we
don't
care
know.
about the deeper thing of it, like knowing a random. I'm sorry, but most no, they're not random, but you know what I mean. When you have to
Yeah.
keep track of all these different characters plus everything else going on in life, like I'm just keeping track of the major storylines, how I feel about things, et cetera, et
Yeah.
cetera. Like names. I'm sorry, and we don't sit there and go to Google, et cetera. We're just talking straight to
I
you.
mean, yeah, like sometimes it just comes off the dome, right? Like
Yeah.
we don't have time to just run into things. So, like I said, I do understand. Beloved characters, beloved series. You want
Yes.
us to get it right. Understood. Also,
But you knew what I was
you
talking
knew what he
about.
was saying. You knew who he meant. And what happened? Like that would happen to me where I'll say a wrong name or something, and then maybe 10 minutes later I'll catch myself. And
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody knows. I'll try to correct it, but if I don't, I don't. I mean,
Man
the
said I was
gist of
trying
what
to
I'm saying
hold
is
up.
still valid. Like if I'm still valid in my expression, then I messed up on a name. Who cares?
My
That's why half the
favorite
time
one.
I use descriptions of the person. I'd be like,
Yes.
that nigga with the red shirt, the one that
Yes.
always with the high top fade. Like, you know who I was talking about.
There it is. Yeah, the one with the terrible fade, the one who got his ass beat, the two who are in love with each other, but they're not. Um, Nancy, who needs to ditch them other two suckers.
Well, remember Nancy's name. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not like there's
because
many of Nancy there, right?
yeah, because because I know she needs to ditch them other two suckers,
Yeah.
Steve and I think Jonathan. I think.
Listen, I can't help you with that.
Yeah, I can't either. But I can't wait. I can't lie though. I cannot wait for the last few episodes of Stranger Things. We will be back to review them, of course, Christmas Day and then December 31st. So we will be here for both of those. And I can't wait, man. I can't lie. They got me. I'm hyped. It should be good. We'll see what's going on.
Mm-hmm,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm. So
Yep.
although I am not watching that show and I might jump back on the bandwagon, but I mean it's trying to force me to get back on the
Yeah,
Stranger Things
man, you
bandwagon.
should. Come on.
I don't know, man. There's other stuff that has in my attention right now.
Mm-hmm.
Pluribus being one of them.
Mm.
Very, very Vince
Gilligan.
Gillian. He's valid. I gotta say
Valid.
that the man, the
For a
man
long
know how
time
to
now.
write a show.
Yeah, for a long time now. Like I
Yeah,
said, I think he goes back to X Files. Anything I know, he had stuff before Breaking Bad, like most showrunners do. They worked on other shows, previous to running the show themselves. But most people know him for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and now for Pluribus.
um,
Three
we
for three.
many weeks ago we just talked in general about the series, and I think like since now we've watched all the episodes, we caught up, we know what's going on. I know we're gonna have more specific conversation about it. Probably could talk about it now.
Yes.
And also like just different things about like how you feel about the story,
Yeah.
certain characters, things that have been going on. In general, like I said, we both love the show. We both loved how it was developed or is developing about the
Mm-hmm.
premise of the story. For those who don't know, one day, basically, how do I say this in a way that anyone, regardless of fandom, can understand? One day,
An alien virus takes over
all of
99 point, all of humanity,
just about all of humanity. I mean,
except
almost
for
every billion, except for 12 people.
yeah, except for 12, 13, 14, whoever amount of people.
Right.
Less than 20.
Less than 20.
Yeah. All of humanity is now occupied by a hive mind that communicates telepathically with each other and is basically about peace and happiness. All of humanity
Yes.
is now united under a hive mind of happiness.
Correct. And
except for our hero.
Our heroine, depending on who you talk to, because
Yeah.
I like the
A
prevailing,
lot of haters.
the prevailing conversation. I raised my hand. The prevailing conversation is lots of Black people of color don't really fuck with her. Wow,
For reasons.
While white people love her, and we'll get to that in a second. But yes.
Do they? I hope not, because god damn, she's hard to love.
That's actually, if you go on TikTok, that's actually the prevailing conversation right now.
Damn.
And like I said, we'll talk a little bit about that. But like to Ben Amin's point, that's the premise of the series, and it's It's so interesting because it forces you to even question your own judgment about like, if that happened to you, how would you react? Like, would you,
Facts.
because as mentioned, this alien, they're a hive mind. When I say there, I mean generally all of humanity, except for the less than 20 people, are linked. They refer to themselves as we. There are no
Mm-hmm.
individuals. There isn't an individual thought. They know everything that has to be known from humanity of every time, everywhere.
Of everyone that's alive at this moment.
And whatever knowledge that they've harbored up until this
Yes.
moment. So it could
Yes.
be, mad old people who have old
Yes.
knowledge, right?
Yes.
So everything, right? They know
A
everything there
lot of
is to know.
knowledge. A
So
whole lot.
literally, like these people is walking Googles, right? Walking AIs, walking everything, right? They could
walking karate masters,
walking
walking
like at any point
flight
in time,
attendants, pilots,
man, woman, or child can
surgeons.
assume any identity generally,
Yes.
like because they could. It's like the Matrix, right? They could tap into any piece of information, any skill set generally, right? Within their physical capability. And hell, we don't even know if that's the truth. Maybe the people who you don't think have the physical capability could do it now. I don't know. But point is, you have this and they're all positive and nice. And anything we can do for you will bend over backwards to make you happy. That's how they move. And the main character, Carol, the white lady, she is the antithesis of that. She's like, fuck this. I'm an individual. I will retain my individuality. I need to reverse this situation. This is not good. She's miserable. And it was miserable even before all this happened.
Yes. That is a major point you just made right there.
Yes.
Yes. She was already miserable. And like you said, I really do like how it does challenge people to think about what you would do in such a situation. It's a different type of apocalyptic scenario than we've seen most times, where the apocalypse is the end of humanity in a way. This is the end of humanity in a different way. But it's like usually we see it through destruction, while this is basically upliftment. And as I've discussed before, when you've read a lot of comic books, a lot of sci-fi, etc., this is a type of idea that has been brought up many a time. In a lot of stories about mutants, they always talk about mutants will evolve and evolve, and eventually they'll get to this level. Or even the Eternals have a hive mind type situation when they need to. I think the Inhumans do as well. So this is something that's been thought of, but what I've never seen it where it's something like this, where the hive mind has basically won up till right now.
And normally, they won quickly.
Or even if it's I mean, the Eternals is something like where they can assume the hive mind and they don't have to assume. It's like it's useful to them.
Yeah.
This is something where, at least for our protagonist, she's not feeling it.
Yeah.
But like you said, the whole white woman thing is quite interesting, because we also see in the latest episode, and since the beginning, not even all the people of color are being altruistic about it. No. Some of them are out for self and just using this, whatever.
Which, as a person, I don't, and also as I told you, if I got superpowers, I would be a villain.
Yeah.
As that type of character, as a chaotic, good type person, I understand. You've lived your life a particular way where you may or may not have had access to stuff. You could have struggled, or you could have just been like, I figure I'm middle class, right? I'm not out there starving. I'm also not living wearing Gucci all day, right? Yep.
So now it's time for Gucci all day.
Now it's time for Gucci. Now it's time, and it's
now
time,
Dapper Dan is making my latest outfit.
Theft at this point, it's all gifts. Yeah. Okay, donations. With the long S. So listen, as mentioned, Carol was been miserable before. Like she was this famous like fiction author, the one that write those trashy romance novels, and she had mad fans. People fuck with her, women at her every beck and call, men too. I think some men, just people at her every beck and call, like feeling her art, right? Because at the end of the day, regardless of whether you thought it trashy, it was still a form of art. Mm-hmm. And she thought what that shit was trash. She was like, I can't believe people like this shit. She would just write any fucking thing and niggas would eat it up.
Yeah.
And now, she's in a space where it's so interesting to me. She's in a space where like everyone wants to bend to her will, but she don't want it. At least she don't want it in this way. When it was happening, she didn't want it. And this way, she really don't want it because, and you go ahead, you say what you need to say.
No, you were on the right path right there. Carol is the ultimate expression of the classic Prince song. She's never satisfied. You know what I mean? That is always going to be her. And that was something that I know we'll see more of it, but I want to see what drove her to the alcoholism, what drove her to the drugs. I know, her upbringing was definitely rough. As a child, she had a rough childhood, but at a point, she has this wife who loves her. She is definitely, as you said, a well-regarded author for the most part, at least to her fans.
Yeah, she got mad fans.
But at some point during that time, there is a massive use of drugs and alcohol to the point where she has to use the breathalyzer to even start a car up.
I mean, this is the tortured artist thing, right?
Yeah.
Where like the artist is making all this and people love it, but they're not fucking with it. And like they know that's their livelihood. And that's the only way that they're getting by. Or that's the only thing that seems to be acceptable to the masses. And that's not the art that they want to create.
Damn, that's me.
See? So she's I say that I'm thinking that that's what that was, like torture soul stuff. Could be a number of different things that we haven't learned yet because we don't really know all of Carol's backstory in her life. We just know about the last few days, how things were, the last few weeks, how things were before shit changed over in the world, and her reaction to it. And just to go back to that a little bit about how people react to the thing. Like you mentioned, the guy you're talking about is Mr. Diabate, which I fucking love him.
I need a new AKA for Mr. Diabate because that is it.
It's a fire name. Shout out to Samba Shoots, who portrays Mr. Diabate. Mr. Diabate, where's he from? He's from a French-speaking country.
Mauritania. I'm not sure.
Mauritania? Okay.
Mauritania, yeah.
I could be mispronouncing it as well. But
yeah, but that's where he's from.
He takes, as Benjamin said, he takes the most out of it. It's not for altruism. It's not that it needs to be. Everyone else is being altruistic for you. Why do you need to add to the altruism, right? Why don't you just do what you need, right? So this man, when I say you're living in a world where...
You should be going right, I flip it to the wrong shit.
You live in a world where basically 100% of the people will cater to you. And again, to really set the stage for people who don't understand what Pluribus is about. Anything you want to do, say, experience at any given time, in any time of day, night, whatever, you ask these people and they will deliver anything, okay? Anything. Man. And I mean that with the strength of the vastness of what entity means. This man uses that. This man uses his free fucking will, which is why I like him.
I'm not lying to y'all folks. The bathtub. That's all I'll say. I'm doing it immediately. Immediately.
Case in point, and I'll share this. I think like
okay, finish. Go ahead. Because there's such a.
I was gonna say, case in point. There's and I think this is like in previews. There's a scene where remember we said less than 20 people have quote survived this plague or virus or whatever. So they're regular individuals. And the white lady asked to meet up with all the ones that speak English, right? Because, and that's another thing we got to talk about. But anyway, she asked for those English speakers and they all agree. And, these people are all over the world, right? So they have to get there. They get to one spot. They choose a country and they all get flown in. These people are provided the choice of how they are flown in or how they travel, right? Some people just, on a regular plane. Carol's on a regular fucking plane. She decides to sit in the very last row 33E, next to the bathroom for whatever reason. This man, Mr. Diabate, says, and this is why I love him, I want Air Force One.
Straight up.
They fly this nigga in to the group meeting on Air Force One. Why not?
He also has a bunch of Super Bowl rings. There's all kind of things going on with Mr. Diabate. Like he is the women's okay, and but now that we can get to this, right? As a what they say, red-blooded American man, I'm definitely as a shout out to happy birthday to Janicia, as she once described me, a recovering basic man. I think it was something to that nature. I'm paraphrasing, but. Basically, she said I was recovering a recovering former Hotep. I think it was.
Shit.
Yeah. There was a lot of slander thrown my way, which I willfully accept. So there'd be a lot of things I would like to do if I was in Mr. Diabate's position, but the fact that it is a mind link with everyone, I don't know if I would be able to. How you say perform in those situations.
But you can't compartmentalize.
I don't know. I mean, yes, because I would definitely ask for some things that would allow me to compartmentalize. I would definitely, I'd figure it out. but it would also it would definitely get old quickly for me, I think, because
That's the thing.
yeah, it would get very quickly where I would be like, this is just disturbing, you know? I've been
I
in a position of like slight
mhm.
fame at points in my time, and even
Okay.
that was disturbing, for me. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
so I can't imagine superstardom, which is something, and this is a beyond superstardom
Yeah.
level of fame. So yeah.
I
Mm.
can see it getting old, getting your way all the
Oh
time,
yeah,
every
very quick.
day.
Yeah.
Like and the fact that because this is a hive mind and all they do is live to make you happy, to me, there's no agency within the hive, right? It's just like,
Yep.
well, we're just going to do what you say.
Yep.
And there's nothing genuine, right? Like,
Yep.
there's no genuine interaction. All the
Nope.
interaction is to serve. And if you want a different interaction, you have to tell them like they are playing a role.
Yeah.
And that's where I could see it getting old, where you got to tell them behave a certain way, right?
Yes.
Maybe, pretend, I mean, they will never be mean about it, I guess. But if you
Yep.
want to pretend you got an attitude with me, right? Like,
Yeah.
we're as humans, we're used to shit not being perfect. And
Mm.
that's usually the downfall of every utopia and every story. It's like when shit gets too perfect, humans
Mm.
find a way to fuck it up, right? And half the time it's not just because we're just want to destroy stuff. We're a virus in and of ourselves, right? Half the time it's just like because we could tell it's not real. We can tell it's not
Mm.
genuine. We can tell it's not a human experience. We can tell something is wrong and off. And I understand that is the general lifeblood of how Carol thinks. This is not normal. This isn't right. We have to put it back. That's all
Mm.
Carol is on. Where Mr. Diabate is just like, I'm living my fucking life. Who knows what the fuck he went through or didn't go through? But the fact is, he said, I'm using this to my advantage.
Bit of point on that is his character's name from what the country that I cannot pronounce again. In their culture, his actual character's name is a feminine name, right? Of course, Vince Gillen didn't know this when he was choosing the name, did not do his research correctly, whatever. But when the actor found this out, he's like, okay, I can use this as part of my backstory. Because in addition to that, in this culture, when you've taken this as like your last name, it means that your mother and people like that have died early around you.
Mm.
So he's like, okay, I can use this in my character's backstory. So they might show this, but this has been confirmed by the actor and by Vince that this is part of the character's backstory. And that is one of the reasons why he is going this way, because he doesn't have family. So there's no one around him who's been turned, just like we see, the man in Guatemala in the latest episode when he's confronted by his mother, he has a
Mm-hmm.
certain reaction to them because of his reaction.
Because he knows who his mother actually was to him.
Yes. And so because of that, he has a certain reaction, just like Mr. Diabate does not have any family. So there's no one around him who can come to him like his mother, his brother, someone to be like, nah, man, it's all good. I'm your bro still. You need to get over on this side too. It's
Yeah.
none of that. So he's immediately like, shit. And he was probably in not good circumstances in his life. And so he's like, nah, okay. Air Force One, Super Bowl rings, hose to the tub. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like, my man said, made, whatever. Come on in. Everybody's welcome. I like that though.
God.
Mr. Diabate is, he don't care. He down for it all. Everybody has some fun.
Right. And I will say he's not adverse to the facts. Like he actually does what Carol does not do, which is just ask them the fucking question, right? Every day, all day, these things, the others is what she calls them. Carol calls them. He asked the others the questions. Why y'all do like this? Do y'all eat? Why is this happening? Why is this not happening? Like he is curious and gets information. So he is very aware of how they operate, why they operate, and what they need and don't need. And what's funny to me is, and this is and when we go into a lot of reasons why certain people or certain groups of people don't really like Carol. Carol has this way about her that she knows everything. And honestly, she came off as a Karen for me in the beginning. She still kind of does.
Still does.
She knows everything. Her way is right. People should follow her lead. Everyone else is crazy. When I say everyone else, I mean the less than 20 survivors, if you will. And she is adamant that people got to do shit her way, which I thought was funny because I'm just like, so you want everyone to be a hive mind behind you. Got it. You're doing
And
the same thing, Carol. But whereas Mr. DiBiase, sorry, I almost said Ted DiBiase, but Diabate, Mr. Diabate, like he knows and understands what's going on, but he still has free will to make his own choices. He's like, that's great, Carol. I like shit the way it is. Yeah. I like being king of Vegas.
There's also no war. There's no racism. There's no this. There's no that. There's no murder. There's no theft.
Right.
There's no waste. The planet is being saved. You know, there's a whole lot of things going on that were not being done when humanity was not joining the hive mind.
Yeah.
Now, the real question is, and I wonder if Mr. Diabate asked these type of questions, because there's still some other, like, what is the end goal?
His end goal?
No.
Or who's
what is the joined end goal?
The joining? Oh, the joined. Oh, yeah, that's actually is that their official name? The joined?
That's what the people have been using on the internet. So we'll
okay, I'm gonna call it that then.
So. Yeah. So what do the joined? What is their end game? Because beyond, as we see in the latest episode, just survival, there is definitely an end game. Because as we know, this is from the very first episode. This virus was sent to Earth by what some scientists say was a satellite the size of Africa. So that is a, technology.
That's technology. Wait, so you think like these quote aliens, this alien virus isn't the end all be all. It's something that sent them to like prep the planet? Or I just throw that as a new idea?
It's something that sent this into humanity to do something with humanity.
Prep the planet for something else.
Yeah, whether that's, building yet another satellite to send it to another planet.
Repeater, okay.
Yeah. We see a lot of people moving to Africa real quick.
I mean, this could be the entity, like the people, the joined is the entity itself, and they traveled across the trillions, and now they're trying to do what they do, or to the other point, it could be the prep for something else.
But it could be like what you said. And shout out to Karen Gillan and Prue over at the Power Fantasy. There's actually a issue that deals with a thing called the signal arriving on Earth, and the signal is the collective consciousness of an alien race that is trying to escape because their planet or whatever they came from was destroyed.
Yeah. There's a reason why this happened, obviously, besides just, well, that's what do they also always say? They said that's our biological directive to join. But why? Like, you were programmed that way, right? If this is a weapon, right? If the joined is actually a version of a weapon that was transmitted, who sent the weapon, right? That's one way to think about it. Or if you are, in fact, the entity itself, to the original point, what is the end game? Like, what is your goal? Like, okay, now we've spread love and peace on Earth. That's it. And it's not sustainable as we've been learning. It's not. The other part, that's one major point that I did not mention. Not only are they like, they share love and peace and all that other stuff, they can't kill.
Yes.
There's a few things they can't do. They can't lie. They cannot kill. And when I say they can't kill, meaning not like obviously living things, animals, plants, insects, whatever. So because they do not believe in killing, they can't even do things like harvest plants. They can't pick an apple off a tree. They can't harvest wheats to make breads and all that other stuff. They can't kill animals to get the meats. If something's already dead, they can utilize it. If that apple naturally falls off a tree, they can pick it up. What do they call it? Windfall?
Yeah, windfall.
And then obviously any of the food stocks that are just already in existence, they can utilize. But other than that, they ain't got it. So if there's no way for you to produce any sort of food, you're gonna starve, my brother.
When there's this many people on Earth, yeah.
But it said 7 billion left.
Yep.
So they said 7 billion, like 292 million, some odd number like that, like 7.2 billion left alive in the world that are joined, and less than 20 are still individuals that are not joined with them because for whatever reason it didn't work on them.
Yeah.
Which they still haven't covered about why it didn't work on them.
No.
Okay.
But they have covered that unless they want to be at this point, they will not join the joint.
Right. They won't force the joining.
Yes. They know how to do it, but unless they ask for it, they will not be joined. So.
Right. Which, again, it just begs the question of just about your personal philosophy about situations like this. How would you react? Your choices that you made. It's so funny. Like I said, Vince and his team, they're so good because the choices they have Carol make. Like I told you, you have your choice of any type of transportation, food, person, whatever. Carol chooses to drive around in a cop car, a state trooper car,
which is
again,
very much.
Come on, Karen.
Yeah.
Like you trying to, it's like an implied sense that I am the authority. And it could just be she just thought it was cool. It could just be she always wanted to drive into it.
Nope.
But we know that's not the case.
It's the first one.
The authority.
It's definitely the first one. It's authority. It's all about Carol showing power, showing that I'm in control, that I still have it.
Wanting to believe she's in control.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things she's grasping for desperately in every episode. She's trying to control the situation. She's trying to gain control of the situation.
Yes.
And nobody's really fucking with her like that.
No.
There's only one guy that's similar to her, and that's that guy in Paraguay.
And he's even more extreme, I think, than Carol. And that's something when they come into actual communication and meeting, we're going to learn that Carol is one level of this, and then there's other levels. And that other level, I think, is going to cause conflict with her as well. Because I think he's about murdering everything.
I think so. I think he's pure genocide at this point.
Yes.
Like, which is wild in this situation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know you want to.
But what does he know that they don't, that, Carol and the rest don't know? Like, what questions
he found the signal himself. He did find a signal. Remember, some type of.
And also, what questions has he asked them, before when it all started? Because he definitely had a conversation with them, and they're like, it didn't go well. So he had his questions. He might have figured out answers, like I said.
Yeah.
That even Mr. Diabate and Carol definitely haven't figured out yet. So that might have made him like, oh, okay, time to hold up. Fuck these dudes. Yeah. I got to kill them all.
And that's one of the main things that bothers me the most about Carol. Just like her attitude about things and the way, like, she don't even do it smartly. She just brute forces everything onto others.
And I think that this is like one thing where, and I always, we run into this idea a lot where people are always like, oh, it's a white woman, One thing Carol is American. And,
she's an American white. And I'm not saying all white women will have the same reaction, but
I'm not saying that all, but I also say that a lot of anyone will have this type of reaction. And then especially American, anyone who are going through the type of shit she goes through. You gotta remember, everyone changes with her, and then her wife dies in front of her.
Which is wild.
So not only is like she pissed at these teams for killing her wife, she's also pissed at these teams for not making her wife change and live.
That's right.
And she's like,
that's a valid reason to be mad. And that's what she is really mad. That's the facts about what she's really mad about. But then everything else is like a consequence of.
Yes. And that's the thing. But empathy is also a very low trait amongst Americans. And when we're watching this, we have a low empathy for her because she's a white woman. So we're like immediately Karen. And she doesn't. And don't get me wrong. She makes Karen-ish choices. Do not get me wrong.
My empathy is not because she's a white woman. I have empathy for some white women just because you're a human.
Yes.
My empathy level is low for her because of the way she speaks and interacts and deals with people, whoever's left in the world, and her. Oh, it's almost like she has no awareness, like your privilege. Like she even in this world, you're still holding on to some form of privilege. Like you said, maybe it's the American thing about everyone should be listening to you. That is the wildest thing to me. There are 7 billion people left on the earth, and less than 20 are like you. People got to listen to you. She was when she went to dinner with the 12 that could speak English, she was just like, why y'all not listening to me? And why y'all that's what made me have less empathy for her. I have full empathy that her wife, as you said, got the true death in front of her. That is insane.
Yeah.
The way you handle yourself after, the way you talk and treat people after, like that's where I'm just like, okay, lady, get a grip. You got to get a grip. Also, people should have, as mentioned, you're behaving like a hive mind, thinking people have to follow behind you. These people move differently. There's one family that has a child that's adjoined, right? The mother is not joined, but the child is. And at the end of the day, she's just like, in her view, that's still my child. I want him to live. I don't want him to suffer. It is what it is. And the other reason why, and this is by design, like you mentioned about Vince and the writers, they've said this already, that they've purposely written Carol this way, so it's hard to like her. Mm-hmm. And there's some people who just like her regardless, which is fine. But she's purposely written as hard to like. There are times where she is affecting the planet because she can't keep her shit together because she's crashing out on these things.
Yep.
The last major thing about the Joined, they're fragile as fuck. And when I say that, I don't mean physically. I mean, if you yell at these niggas a little bit too hard, they
die.
They die. Some of them. But
a lot of them.
They flip out. And it's something within, and again, that has maybe something to do with the signal. It's something that fucks them up with their, what's the word? Like synapses or whatever.
Yeah.
And a lot of them die. There was a point where she killed millions because she yelled at somebody too hard one day. Yo, what's up, fam? It is I, Tatiana King, and I want y'all to know that I need you to do me a favor. Please share this show. You're listening to us, you're watching us, but you're gatekeeping, and I don't understand why you're doing that. I really need you to share with your friends, share with your mama, share with your cousin, share with everybody, because if you're like me, you love to share the joy, and it's really important that you do that. So please tell people about ForAllNerds. I love you. So the writers are putting her in situations where it's just like, how am I supposed to like this lady? These people are not to say that, listen, to be joined is the right way to go. I'm not saying that. I'm saying these people have shown her nothing but concern and empathy and this and that. And she, and again, you could say, oh, well, maybe she didn't know. She didn't know the first time, but she did it like 3 times.
Yeah.
At that point, you know.
Yeah.
And you now, where's your empathy? Because at the end of the day, you say you want to save humanity. You're not trying to kill more, but you can't keep your shit together. Like, just to have a conversation because you're upset and you want to vocalize your emotion. And there's nothing wrong with having emotion, but it's also when your reaction is linked to the survival of the human race, you may want to take a step back. And that's where my disdain for her comes in.
Not disdain.
And I will say this, it's an entertaining disdain. It's not like, oh, I can't stand this every time she's on screen. I laugh because she just be saying the wildest shit and doing the wildest things because it's just like, this lady don't fucking get it.
Driving around in a car.
This lady don't fucking get it. Oh, I gotta show you what I found out about these people. And Mr. Diabate's like, oh yeah, I know. Because I asked
Cena explained it to me.
John Cena, so right. Oh, I know because I asked, and that's what I'm saying. It's like simple things that she could find out. They can't lie. Ask. Because she's so afraid that they're going to be secretive and hide stuff from her. They can't fucking lie. You personally established that.
Only thing I got to knock Diabate for is having the same Lambo in different colors for the different
yeah, he could have.
Come on, fam. All the whips in the world. Yeah, diversify.
That's what he wants. That's what he wants. But he could have diversified. So yeah, that was me. I might be like Mr. Diabate a little bit. I'm not going to have the harem of people around me, but I might have to be running around, in full costume every day with different designs and this and that. Like, especially if I'm the only one.
Yeah, at least for a week, I'm doing the harem.
Like, I don't know how long it's going to last. To your point, it might get old, but it is what it is. Yeah. And yeah, so that's kind of where we are with the series, right? Like, we've learned a lot about.
I was like, my first things would be like, okay, yeah, my last thing on it is, my first things be who killed Tupac, who killed Biggie,
somebody knows
who killed JFK.
You're not using your power right.
Yeah, that'd be my immediate thing. Oh, you know everything everyone knows? All right, who killed Tupac?
You know everything everywhere of every time and place that needed to be known. Answer some questions for me.
Yeah. All right, y'all are aliens, but are there other aliens on Earth? Show me. Show me everything ill that every government knows that they never shown me before.
All I'm saying is, even if it's just a few days of it, use your time with these things.
Oh my God. Well, Carol, I get because she's in a bad,
she's in a bad place, and will be in a bad place for a while.
Yeah, Mr. Diabate has probably already seen the aliens. He probably knows who killed Tupac. You know what I mean? Like,
he probably asked all those questions day 2, right?
Like day 1, probably.
Day 1.
If there's somebody famous in his country that was a mystery, he knows who killed them too. But he's young enough where he definitely wanted to know who killed Tupac. Yeah.
Just I don't know. Use just be smarter.
I mean, we actually know who killed Tupac, but I just want to know all the story. Like, I want to know every little detail that I don't know. right now.
Yeah. So we love the show. We think it's well written, well paced. It is, well, each episode is like 45 to 50 minutes, so it can get long at times, just because there's also lots of quiet moments. There's some moments where it's just something mundane happening, like Carol making a phone call, and like they sit through the rings.
Yes.
And the responses and back and forth. But it leads to the greater experience, because also you have to remember, this is a world where there's nothing else going on. So like when they go to a town, there ain't nobody else walking around. There's no other cars in the street. I didn't notice any birds in the sky and things like that. Where are the animals?
Well, we do see, there's been different questions about that, but we do see coyotes come at Carol when, in one episode. So some animals are still out there. Now,
didn't they like round them up? Or no, they released them from the zoos. Didn't they release them? Yeah, they said they
released them from the zoos.
Slavery.
Yep. And people were talking about they see animals. So the animals are still out there. Birds are just one of those things, man. It's like, you don't see birds in most shows, but people are just wondering about it in this show because
I was wondering about it.
Yeah, because you don't see anything. So you're like, okay, well, they're birds and stuff. But you got, it's just difficult. Like birds are hard to animate.
It's not tracking that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a lot to do, like.
Well, I'm just saying, as someone who's observant, I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
I get it, but that's what, budgets, that's what Vince is that's what Vince is over here saying. Like, cause think about it. You're gonna have to animate birds or you're gonna have to have birds. Either one is gonna cost you money, and animating birds was crazy for the most part. And so, having birds is really problematic and difficult. But look, man, Vince is, he might want Lamborghinis in every.
Don't cost that much to rent. They're not even driving them hoes. Just put them in front of the building.
I'm saying, but that could come out of his money. Is what I'm joking, but yeah, I know birds, etc. For animals, I think it's just one of those things where it is a budget, and that's why we haven't seen it, or they just have not been into places. You got to remember, she's in the middle of Albuquerque, wherever. I don't know what type of bird life there is on a daily over by her. And then animal life is going to be acting completely different now without the presence of humans. Yeah, that is one thing I've been like.
That's why after the pandemic, the animals.
Yeah, whenever she goes out, and it's a completely different from pandemic. This is extreme. So when she goes out, whenever she's out at night without, or even dude in Albuquerque or Guatemala, I think he's down in there. Paraguay. When he's walking around, I was like, fam, what are you doing? Like these streets might be riddled with coyotes, other scavengers, all kind of things at night, especially at night, fam. You are bugging. I was so shook for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I just think it's one of those things, budget. Like I say, animals.
That's fair. That's fair. And there's a couple of major points I purposely didn't say because they came out on one of the later episodes. So I want people to discover for themselves. But if you liked what you heard and that shit sound fire, definitely watch it. It's on Apple TV. I do encourage password sharing. So do what you got to do to watch it.
Yeah, because speaking of that,
speaking of password sharing,
and of networks and streaming services getting out of hand,
man.
All right. There's been a lot of like, oh my God, the sky is falling type of thing going on over this. Basically, Netflix is putting in a bid. It seems to be going through because everything goes through these days because the world is full of grime and horrible things, and we can't have nice things. Are putting in a bid and will soon own WB, Warner Brothers, and everything Warner Brothers owns, which goes all the way down to things like DC comic books.
Let me get some caveats to you.
Yeah.
On that deal. It's some slight nuances there.
Okay.
The deal has not closed.
Yeah.
Netflix is positioning it language-wise to make it feel like it's a done deal. It still has to be approved, which could still take a year.
Okay.
This is an agreement with their board that Netflix board and the WB board shook hands and say, yes, we agree to this, 82 billion buyout, takeover, acquisition, whatever you want to call it. 82 billion with a B. What this entails is everything in the Warner Brothers catalog except for the TV division. So like WB also owns CNN. So that stuff is carved out and everything else would be going to the deal. That's the only distinction I want to make about that. And there's more to it, but continue, sir.
The crazy thing about it is like Netflix still doesn't make a profit. This is all illusion money But
if the deal don't go through, they still get billions. It's like 2.3 billion or 5 billion, something like that.
It doesn't matter.
Which is like, they get a little something. They get a little consolation prize.
Who, WB gets it if the deal doesn't get through?
Netflix, it's WB. WB gets something if they don't.
But that's what I'm saying. Netflix still doesn't make a profit. Netflix still has been like draining money year after year.
Yeah.
It's all an illusion, folks, basically. But back to the reality, or what could be the reality of the situation and what people are worried about, is the fact that Netflix is not someone who, one, cares about quality. There's super quantity over quality. If any major studio of 2025 is driven by algorithms, it is Netflix. Like, there might be some humans at some of these other places, and Netflix, there seems to be nothing, because the amount of slop and garbage that they pump out just to keep you watching is not good. Mm-hmm. And because of that, people are worried that theaters will be pushed out because Netflix would rather have you at home watching all the rest of their slop. So they don't want to, keep a movie in theaters for any longer than they need to. Long enough for it to, in most cases, for it to qualify for awards. And if they don't think it's something that would qualify for awards, why even put it in theaters? So that could get weird very quickly.
And will get weird if it goes through. I was one of the people who was saying the sky was falling, because, not to say it hasn't been falling, but it and I understand your take, but the fact is, this is also the sky is falling. This is just another sign, another major red flag about the sky is falling. And when I say the sky is falling, I mean from entertainment and art perspective. Like, when I heard this, I said, this is the most terrible thing I've heard recently. Yes, there's many other terrible things, but I'm not doing Oppression Olympics. I'm saying this is a terrible thing I've ever heard as of right now.
I was more just like,
you expect this shit.
Yeah, I expect this shit. And because it's already been going this way, and because the major companies are eventually going to be reduced to one company, one or two at most,
which is terrifying. And not to say that's not the tracking, but it's still terrifying. It doesn't negate the emotion, right?
Yeah, see, it's not very terrifying to me, because for me, it's being like, okay, like let's take it to music, right? I see, we're at the end of the year, everyone, willingly, and most people at this point know how terrible Spotify is. And yet people do their advertisement for them, end of the year, look at all the Spotify I listen to, look at how I didn't pay these artists that I love. And so I look at that as someone who is now releasing music. And I even put this question on Threads. I got no answers for it yet, but I'll do it again to see how it goes. I was asking DJs, producers, because I'm looking to not even get paid off my music, but I want to know what platforms will help me to get my music to the places where it'll allow me to do shows and things of that nature off of my music, right? So I'm like, do I have to put it on Spotify? Because I know, Spotify is the worst. I don't give a shit, though. It takes so many millions of streams to make little change that I know it's nothing. Right now, I have my music on Bandcamp, and it makes me a little bit of money. And I'm like, that's cool, but I know it's not getting to people, right? But that's the thing. That is what this is like. I saw Joe Budden saying it. The music industry has another year left. The movie industry does not have much more time than that. The things that we used to, the way it was, is gone. And that's what it is. So it's not scary to me. It's more like, okay, how do you adapt in these situations? For me, and as I've seen other people talk about, the music industry and the idea of selling millions of records is a waste of time. You know what I mean? That's done. But what you can do is cultivate your community, get a few thousand people who will buy your music when you put it out, when you put an album out for $10 each, like it used to be. And then boom, you have a career off of that. Mm-hmm. That is the way. Filmmaking is going to go the same way, because the tools to make films are now in everyone's hands, just like the tools to make music. It's in anyone's hands. So it's about, okay, how can I make the art that I want to make? How can I get it to people? And how can I build up a community? It's going to be the same way. And eventually, when you do that, the majors are going to come looking for you, just like they come in music. But then you'll have a foot to stand on, etc. And that's this wave. Like, it's just a changing of the hands for me, and a changing of the way things are done. Yes, it's getting worse. But like you said earlier, there's a lot of other things that I got to worry about that are getting worse in the world. And, it's always going to be about how can you make your art and get it out to people who care about it.
You make a very compelling point and a very valid points as well. I will also say it's still very terrifying to live and see. It's not so much, it's 87 billion. To live and see the theft, to live and see the change. And it's not just like, life is changing because of the... No, some of it is because of the advancements of technology. It's also more than that, right?
It's greed.
And consolidation of power by people who do not care about you. Fuck the art. They don't care about people. They don't. And that's where the emotion of terror or sadness or whatever that me and some other people are feeling comes in, because it's just that. And another thing, just to continue on this whole Netflix still thing, Netflix announced this last week. And then just this morning, Paramount announces a hostile bid takeover, which is, yes, Netflix and WB's board shook hands and said, yes, this is what we're going to do. Paramount said, fuck that, because there was a whole bunch of companies bidding. When they didn't win, Paramount said, fuck that, we're going straight to the shareholders. They turn around and offered a higher value deal and says, hey, this is better for the shareholders, and we want to purchase WB in full, which keeps it all together. It includes as mentioned, the TV part, the CNN part. We're going to keep it together. That's good for business. We're going to give the shareholders more money. Da, 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 da. Do you know who is the Paramount / Skydance CEO? His name is David Ellison. Do you know who he's aligned with?
Peter Thiel,
the current Cheeto in office.
Yeah.
And that family.
No, David Ellison definitely, I think, is mentioned with the Peter Thiels of the world.
I'm sure. They're all in leagues with the same people. And this is where, not to say that Netflix is any better. That's big tech, right?
They're not any better.
That's another evil about technology swallowing. They're talking about, the Amazons and everybody else swallowing up everything. And not to say, and it's so wild, because not to say that these old school networks are the bastion of good. It's just that at least at one point, they was individuals. It's kind of, I feel like Pluribus. It's like, hey man, there was some individuality going. There was some competition going. Now everybody is joined. That shit is wild to me. And then the people who are positioned at the top, who are now trying, or already do, but are trying to increase their control of media, increase their control of news, and this and this and that, and what we get to see on TV. And not to say that everything you said wasn't true. Yes, because there are ways to fight back. There are ways to make changes that will help you during this process. It's just that the shit is still happening.
Yes. And my thing is,
and we can't stop it.
No, and you can't. And that is like the thing where I always go to. It's like when one day I used to be one of those people who would worry about conspiracies, right? I've read every conspiracy theory you could imagine. And one of my best friends said, Ben, your rent still due. And that's how I look at a lot of these things. Like, if you're worried about Netflix, there's a couple of other companies. Like, I name people who I don't even like.
Yeah, but I don't like that response that people say. Like, well, there's other stuff. Like, we know.
No. Listen, let me finish. Listen. Let me finish.
Listen, Linda.
Yeah, it's not about that you have other things to do. Your rent is still due, etc. Yes, but like I said, if you're worried about companies consolidating, Netflix isn't the one. Like, I named other people who I'm not going to name again. And, the companies they own and work with are the ones that you should really be worried about. And these are the people who are behind Netflix and everything as well. And at the same time, as I'm sitting there thinking about this, today I reposted a photo from when the Black Panthers free breakfast program was going on. And for those who don't know, the free breakfast program is the reason why kids have breakfast in schools today.
Correct.
Straight up and down. And it's it's probably one of the major reasons why they started shooting Black Panthers. Carrying guns was one thing, but when you start giving breakfast to kids, oh no, y'all fuckers gotta go.
We're giving power to all the people.
To all people. So that's what I'm saying. That is like what's going through my head right now, is that image. Because that fight and that struggle never ends. And the enemy, and another line that I always love is from The Wire, is the game don't change. It just gets fiercer. It does not change. It just gets rougher. But the struggle continues. A lot of people have been, there was something on Welcome to Dairy about Black Wall Street. So a lot of people talk about Black Wall Street and da-da-da-da. the struggle continues. You know what I mean? It always is going to be, oh, look what they're doing now. Yeah, but what are you doing? You know, and that's what I'm saying. You're going to have to keep fighting. That's what I mean. It's not about, that, oh, you got to go pay your rent. No, you're going to have to keep fighting. That's what I meant from the very jump of this conversation. You got to still make that art. You got to still get it out to the people. And, you got to have to figure that out because the fight still continues, and it's every day. Like maybe you won't ever get to write a Batman comic. I will. You're going to have to write your own Batman.
So what about the people that's their life dream? No, man? You just crushed them.
I'm sorry. But no, where the sympathy and where I do feel it as someone who does work in these industries is the shrinking of it. Like there used to be like so many writing jobs in Hollywood. And when I was there, 7 years ago, it was this many. And now it's this many. And you can't see my hands. It's shrunk. It's shrunk dramatically.
That's also a symptom of consolidation. Like
yes, and that's what I'm saying. That when I say that, that's why it's like, well, we're gonna have to create these jobs outside of Hollywood. We're going to create these situations for ourselves. We have to create these economies, on a smaller scale. You might have to scale back. Writers get paid a lot in Hollywood. I know it's a great life once you make it. But you might have to figure out another way to be a writer, and it might not make as much money. But you might get your message out to a better way. And that's what I always talk about, right? It's like one of my favorite books, I can't remember the name, but the lesson I learned from it is that revolutions are not started by changing 100 people 1%. They're started by changing one person 100%. So that's how you start a revolution. So if you are really about this life, if you want to make art, if you want to make change, then Hollywood was never the fucking way to go in the first place, fam. It was a way for you to sell out and, get paid, sure. But if you really wanted to do it, that ain't where it is. And then at the same time, like Netflix is this evil monster with nothing but slop. But I went and seen some of my favorite films of the last 5 years without Netflix. Yeah. Athena, RRR, this year, Blue Giant's on there. One of my films of the year, Good News, is on there. And that was the way they were distributed. So it's like, I knew about Blue Giant through other ways. Mello put me on when it came out in Japan, but now it's on Netflix where everyone can see it. Sure, you got to go through a bunch of slop, but that's like, I don't know. I just come from this world where like, when I first got into hip hop, people would tell me hip hop is dead. And this is in the early 90s, right? Way before Nas ever made the album, et cetera. I'm talking 90s. They're like, it's dead now, and I'm like, what? This shit's popping. Y'all just sound old. And that's the same thing I feel about anything. It's always going to be a lot of slop. That's what I tell people. Like people nowadays, they're like, yo, you can't find anything good music. I'm like, well, one, you listen to the radio. You're not looking. Two, you're not looking.
Because it's there.
And because the ways in which you used to get music don't exist anymore.
Right. And that's what I'm saying when I'm like, it is also a problem for a lot of people because not to say that they're not trying, but it gets harder.
Yeah. And
things get buried that don't need to be buried.
Fiercer. It's going to get worse. We are living in troubling times. Things are going to get worse,
Mm-hmm.
Like, straight up one of my favorite movies they're re-releasing in theaters in January, the Lord of the Rings saga. I wish I'd, never lived to see these times. No one wants to see it, but it's what you do with the time that you were given.
I wish none of this had happened.
So do all who live to see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us.
That's what it always is, Times is rough. My auntie got enough problems of her own. It's supposed to be grown, nigga. Like, you're gonna have to, get up and get out and get something. That's what I mean. I get it. Trust me, I get it. I love those nice Hollywood writers' jobs, man. Woo! That check is lovely, folks.
My thing is all about the control.
And you ain't
control the consolidated.
You'll never have it. Yeah, well, see, that's it is the problem of distribution is the problem. But like I say, I come from Son out of the trunk. I come from growing up under Too Short, who made an empire. So shout out to Luther Campbell, Uncle Luke, who made an empire. Master P, empire by selling out of the goddamn trunk. So that's where I come from. I don't come from like, oh, well, let me go get it from someone else. I come from Texas where, like every rapper is like, shit, it's a gold mine just selling in Texas. I don't ever need to sell outside of the state. Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Alabama, I'm good money, fam. And so that's why, like, you got to understand, the game is going to change, but you're going to have to adapt. That's what it's all about. The game is always changing. Like, you can't sit there. The game gets fiercer. Watch the wire, folks. Everything's laid out. And that's the other thing. Like I always tell people, I come from playing games like Shadowrun, where eventually it was 2 or 3 corporations. Demolition Man laid it out. It's supposed to be Taco Bell. My boy used to say about conspiracies. God, Coca-Cola, and IBM made a deal a long time ago. You better stop worrying about anything but your goddamn rent. That's what my boy would say. Because he's like, God, Coca-Cola, and IBM. God, Coca-Cola. Yeah, they've been made the deal. You know what I mean? Like, they sat up in a room and made the deal. You don't have nothing on that level to think about. But the fight is still going to continue. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying about all that. I get it, but, and yeah. On that, let's move to this next topic because the fight's still going to continue. The Golden Globe nominations came out, and
your favorite film got laced with mad nominations.
And this is what did I tell y'all when I stepped out of the theater? And I'll say it on here. I don't even say this goddamn movie's name, in public anymore. But when one battle after another, when I stepped out of the theater, I was like, this movie should be the most nominated film for the Oscars and shit. And I hate it, and it's garbage, But that's a lot of them joints like that. Whiplash, a movie that I love in a way, was super nominated, and then it led to La La Land, which got all the nominations and almost stole it from Moonlight. It's the same director and everything. And La La Land and Whiplash are both about jazz music. And I haven't seen La La Land because I saw Whiplash, and I was like, this movie has nothing to do with jazz music.
I've never seen La La Land either.
You've seen Whiplash, right? Mm-mm. Oh, well, Whiplash is wildly entertaining. Don't get me wrong. It is so good. But it's just not about jazz. It's about some music that is about playing fast and being precise. And I guess that's
that movie.
I guess that's what they think jazz is about. But
I remember that movie now. Okay.
Yeah, and so what? And people loved it. People were like, oh my God, and then it led to the dude being able to do La La Land, where they were like, oh my God, give him the Oscar. And so it's like, this was, I will always say, once again, like I just said, the fight gonna continue, and that's not for us. Sinners got what it needed to get. Money.
Sinners got 7 nominations.
It also got 7 nominations.
Best Picture, Drama, Best Performance by Male Actor, Michael B. Jordan. Best Director.
Let's go.
Original Score, Ludwig Göransson. The original song, I Lied to You. Cinematography, yes.
Okay, all right.
I Lied to You, Miles Canton, who sang that. Yeah.
All right.
Frankenstein hit big too. I haven't seen it yet.
Man.
Like, even though I'm not really the biggest fan of One Battle, I'm very proud of Tiana Taylor. She actually got a nomination for Best Performance by supporting female role.
Supporting, because she vanishes. Yeah, Frankenstein. I got ripped on Threads because, after I watched it, I was like, did I miss something? Because this is just yet another white man needs a HUD movie for me. It kind of
this is Guillermo's movie.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
And don't get me wrong, I'm a Guillermo fan up to a point, but like I felt, I got attacked by a couple of, film threads, and I looked through their threads and they were all, oh my God, this movie and all that. So I was like, all right, cool. That's how y'all feel. Shout out to Honest Trailers, who basically summed it up like I said. They said it is a white man needs a HUD movie that feels pretty much like a Marvel movie at points in terms of its simplicity and like the way, I won't spoil anything, but oh my God, like the redemption arc is like, okay, you're good now, I guess. So yeah, whatever. Frankenstein being nominated is one of those like,
it has mad nominations too. You know,
hilarious.
Didn't even come out yet. Avatar, Fire and Ash got nominations.
Yeah, I mean, like I usually trust the Golden Globes. I know what he calls getting nominated out the wazoo too, right? Marty Supreme. Did he get nominated? It's not out yet officially, but I know it's going for the Oscar bid time too. Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. Best screenplay.
Yeah, everything.
Best motion picture, best performance, Timothy Chalamet.
What about Tyler?
Screenplay.
Tyler, no supporting for Tyler. He's in it.
Let me see. Well, no, Marty only came up 4 times in those 4 categories. So Yeah, so I'm sorry.
I was just, I was hoping that like, that Oscar buzz love, kept rolling down the hill to Tyler. I was hoping.
I get you.
Yeah, because he's in the trailer.
And I still haven't seen it. I do want to see it. F1. F1 got noms.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that one too.
I was actually surprised. Cinematic and box office achievement. Okay, original score for Hans Zimmer, but that's Hans Zimmer. Like,
yeah, so whatever. Duh, yeah.
And again, like I said, it's just similar.
Andor got nominated, right, on TV because Golden Globe is TV and film.
Andor got Diego Luna, best performance by a male actor in TV.
Yup.
That's all I see for Andor.
Damn. No
Mark Ruffalo got nominated in that same category for Task. Gary Oldman, Sterling K. Brown for Paradise. Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of Paradise, I hope you saw the teaser. It was a tease of a tease.
A teaser. I can't believe that man's plane crashed already, though.
But I was like, did y'all just leave? Like,
nigga,
what happened?
nigga.
What happened?
You didn't get 5 feet.
I know you wasn't like too tough on this latest or the last season before, maybe even the latest season, but The Bear got like 4 Best TV Series, Musical or Comedy. Ayo Edebiri, she got Best Performance Female Actor in TV. Jeremy Allen White for Best Male Actor, and that's it. Yeah, but some good things here, and also just partially related to the last conversation we just had, like seeing Apple and Netflix come up so many times in this is just startling to me. Just as someone who grew up with these niggas, and not to say it doesn't change, it's just like, oh
yeah, but that's the game. That is the game, and like when you watch Apple having really great things, for
really good things,
for the most part, having really great things, they deserve it. Like
really good things.
Like I told you, the studio
Pluribus.
And the studio is one of the ones that is like laying out what is happening. That is exactly, the first season is about a streaming company. I think Amazon trying to buy up the studio.
And speaking about laying out what's happening, how my husband and I are catching up on the morning show. We're in season 3, and this is literally a season where a tech company buys a legacy media company. And I was just sitting there like, oh, this is parallel to everything happening right now. And it's a season from like 2 years ago. So, geez Louise.
And like I said, though, it was supposed to be Taco Bell. That's what Demolition Man said. It's going to be Taco Bell, or like my boy said, IBM, Coke, and God. It was always going to be somebody.
It is. Oh, and shout out to Seth Rogen, because I fuck with him. He's been nominated on the studio. Globe,
of course.
Yeah. Best TV series, best performance by male actor.
They're going to clean up.
Female too.
Yeah.
So
look, I love that show. I can't wait for season 2. And shout out to Apple.
Are you still watching Abbott Elementary?
Of course.
Abbott got some too.
Yeah, it should.
Best TV. That's it? Oh, all I see right now is best TV series.
Okay, but always, yeah.
Hey,
Abbott's one of those ones who it got its early ones, and then it's gonna be like the last season whenever they do a final season.
That they're gonna lace
give them a bunch of awards. Yeah. Because right now it's like they're just established and it's solid, but it's not game changing. Any one season so far. They haven't had I can't remember what season of Blackish it was, but I remember one season of Blackish was right after Atlanta had come out, where I was like, yo, they got a new showrunner because this is different this season. Like this season is like they were watching Atlanta and they're like, okay, it's time to. That's when they did a musical episode about Black history. They did all these really crazy episodes that season where I was like, yo, they have stepped it up. So they haven't done that yet on Abbott Elementary. Okay. But hopefully, they've had great, it's all been solid. Don't get me wrong. It's I'm still watching one of my favorite shows ever at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for it to exist because, like I say, it's so rare to see a show involving positive Black people and who are not superheroes, who are not anything. That's why I love it so much, because I feel like it just shows role models that we don't get to see enough. And man, that show, it brings me to tears.
I love the Quentin Brunson, man. She came so far from the days of what was she on BuzzFeed? so far.
Yeah, so far from you got money.
Yeah.
So far.
Before we go, there is a giveaway we have to announce. So
yes.
Our resident sound engineer, designer / VR specialist, Johnny Moon
/ Twitch co-partner.
Twitch co-partner. So make sure you are on the ForAllNerds Twitch channels. What is it? Twitch.tv / ForAllNerds.
Yes.
Something like that. Sorry if I fucked up the URL, but the point is go to Twitch looking for ForAllNerds. Him and Ben Amin do the most hilarious streams.
Oh, there's a cave over here. Save before the cave. Oh shit.
What the fuck?
Baldur's Gate is the main one right now. Johnny Moon VR, JONNYMOON VR on TikTok is hosting a game giveaway this week. This is this week that you hear it, this week of December 8th, for the Meta Quest. He is giving out 4 free copies of the new Dungeons & Dragons Battle Marked VR game. It is a digital D&D tabletop adventure by Resolution Games. In order to enter to win one of the 4 free copies, you have to follow Johnny Moon VR on TikTok, find the pinned giveaway post, comment Battle Marked, and tag a friend and repost.
We got to make sure they follow ForAllNerds on TikTok as well.
Yeah, I think you might have to follow us too, or we're going to disqualify you. Sorry.
Yeah, straight up.
The giveaway starts on Wednesday, December 10th, and the 4 winners will be announced on Friday, December 12th. So just to reiterate what you got to do, go follow Johnny Moon VR on TikTok, find that pinned giveaway post. You need to comment Battle Marked. You need to be following ForAllNerds and also tag a friend. You know, the friend might get lucky too. So if you're into D&D, into VR, want to combine the two, there you go. And I actually seen the game. The game looks pretty fun, actually.
Yeah. And like Tatiana said, we are on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds a lot more frequently these days. We're still trying to figure out like exact times and schedules, but we've been doing a 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. to 11:30 midnight stream of Baldur's Gate, me and Luna on various weekdays. We're gonna lock down some days. We're actually about to go live right now. So if you took my advice and followed us on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds, you would know that because you would get the notification when we go live, and you'll see us tonight on Baldur's Gate. But if not, do what I just said. Follow on twitch.tv/ForAllNerds. And also, before we get out of here, I keep seeing a lot of YouTubers say this. So statistics show that the amount of people that watch this do not hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? So
tragedy.
Make sure. Yeah, tragedy. For real. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now on YouTube. Right now. If you're watching this on whatever platform, because it's probably the same statistics. If you're on Spotify, the demon, make sure you hit that follow.
The demon. Listen, y'all, and also like the easiest things, like if you see us on IG, there's like a reverse Uno button under every video now. Press it, like that ass, like all
that repost is the reverse Uno, y'all.
Press the button, press the share button, put it.
That shit is
like
a draw
if you
25.
see us, just be like, oh, I see y'all. Tag, like it's the easiest thing, and it literally takes half a second. Like just do that, and that helps get people get visibility that we exist. We know you fuck with us because you're listening to us, and you want to talk about what we talked about to somebody else. Share it. That's it.
You have copped one of our memorabilia that we are both wearing, like the Gucci Mandalorian, the legendary, now in sweatshirt form, available on ForAllNerds.com.
Now
in sweatshirt form, available on ForAllNerds.com.
We got mad sweatshirts
during the winter. Mad sweatshirts,
mad
new designs, all kind of fire designs coming very soon. A lot of shit coming. ForAllNerds.com. A lot of memorabilia, a lot of flavors. You go over there, you put in some donations, some gifts, and they will be returned to you. You know what I mean? It's a mutual exchange type of thing. But yeah, if you get one of these butters for yourself, make sure you tag us at ForAllNerds. Please, when you rock it, tag us at ForAllNerds. Let people know what it is that you are wearing out there in the, wild, in the universe and all that. Real quick, big shout out to the Black Comic Lords. They just had a virtual Comic-Con this weekend. Shout out to y'all. Congratulations. Hope that went very well. What else we got to shout out? Shout out to Anyone Comics. As always, you can pick up a copy of Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze. Make sure you get one of those for, the holiday season. I will still sign a copy for you if you let me know about it. If you tell them at Anyone, Ben Amin said he would sign this copy. When you order it, I'll go over there and sign the copy however you want it. You know what I mean? It's crazy what I will do for you, the people out there. What's up, y'all? Thank you for watching that video that you just watched. Do one thing for me. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Do it because you love us. Do it for the cause. It's the For All Nerds Show. For All Nerds Show is a member of the Loudspeakers Network, where we always say rest in peace to our founder, Combat Jack.
For All Nerds Show is powered by our listeners. Everything we do, from our podcasts, live events, our website, are all independently funded. Please continue to support us through our Patreon page at patreon.com/forallnerds.